Well, hello there, chat. How you doing today? You having a good time? You having a fun time? Perhaps some kind of good fun time. Joe, please. Here, give me a second. I'll turn on some music, some good background tunes. If you're watching this on YouTube and you want to know what today's weather was, we did some brain rot, kind of. Just in a brain rot mood today, you know? My brain feels like it has rotted. We did Red Heart by Hachama-chan? I don't know. We did Pop on Rocks by Amelia Watson. And Alexander Hamilton, but it's brain rot by Jonah Who 2. Skibadussy Phantom Tax. We spam W's in the chat for you. Do you know how you jelked your Drake? The meme versions of the songs. Well, the first two, I guess, were not memes necessarily. It depends who you ask. Some people genuinely like the Big Red Heart song. It's certainly catchy. But to me, it's one of those, like, it's catchy in an almost nefarious way. Like, it worms into your head, and you don't, like, enjoy singing it, but you just find yourself like, hi, how are you? I am going up to phone. I am doing lots of things. It's a very simple song. Oops. Sorry, that was probably really loud. That's from my stream music playlist. That's all, like, YouTube free stuff. How's that, chat? Can you still hear me pretty clearly? Dr. Seuss is an icon. He is. You can rap a lot of his stories. I'm taking a break from Master Duel for today, probably for the best. I will say it's been kind of refreshing. If you've missed the last, like, month of streams, pretty much the last 2 months of streams, it's like, it's been me desperately wanting to play Master Duel and liking the decks I'm playing, and then after I play for like an hour, I'm just like, ugh, this game is like awful. And I thought maybe, you know, I was just, it was a me thing. You know, I thought perhaps I was growing tired of it. Because I do, you know, my interest in Yu-Gi-Oh! Comes in waves. Even before I did it professionally, there were like months when I really liked Yu-Gi-Oh! and then month-long periods, or several month periods where I didn't. Kinda went back and forth. But now that I do this for a job, like, I kind of have to push through even when it sucks. But I've been seeing posts from, like, everyone from more casual players like MBT and Nim to even, like, professional players like Joshua Smith just being like, the Master Duel format is as bad as it's ever been. It's like the worst of all worlds. And almost all of them, at least partially, put the same fault that I do, which is you retrained Max C, you made the Charmies that are better Max C, and then you didn't ban Max C. So it's like, yeah, the Charmies by themselves, way better, far more fair, fix a lot of the problems with Master Duel. But if those Charmies can draw you into Max C, then what you've essentially done is give us 3 more copies of Max C. You know, the Charmies don't, like, you know, they put Max C to 2, but it might as well functionally be at 5. Oh, hey, a bot. Let's just go ahead and ban them. There we go. I feel like we don't see those very often. The people who are just like, hey, you can buy viewers. And it's like, I don't need viewers. I got viewers right here, and they're better than bots. The Charmies are a little more fair, but I do see pro players often just passing to them turn 1. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. The Charmies can still have the Maxi effect, but it depends on what deck you have, right? With Maxi, it's pretty much like, are you playing exactly Labyrinth? No? Well, every other deck loses to Maxi. And even Labyrinth can sometimes, like, they start their turn and they activate a trap, and you Maxi, and they're like, I can't give them Pot of Greed on their turn. So they have to, like, use their big welcome now, even though they would have saved it. Yeah, so it's exactly like Labyrinth, and even they get hurt by it. The only decks completely unhurt by it are Floowandereeze and Stun. And those might as well be the same deck. The Maxi worship makes zero logical sense, even from a yeah. Even from a capitalistic standpoint, even if you just wanted to make money, you are ruining the long-term health of your game by having it there. But yeah, what I was saying was, with the Charmies, yes, sometimes you have a hand or you have a deck where it's like if you're playing Fiendsmith, that special summons out of the extra deck 3 times to make Desiree. And it special summons a Fiendsmith out of the deck. So if you're playing Fiendsmith, or all you have access to is the Fiendsmith combo, and you were hoping that would get you to something else, the Charmy might as well be Maxi. But if you're playing something like, well, even just the Magical Muskets, well, that's different, because that plays around Maxi too. But there's a lot of decks. Snake Eyes plays around the Charmy fairly well, can still put up a board. Tearlament can play around it fairly well. Granted, they could kind of play around Maxi too, doing the same thing. But there's a lot of decks where, especially modern decks, where they have a card where it's like, you can summon it or add it to hand, and if you add it to hand and then use an effect to special summon it, you play around that. Angel Crab, thank you for the 28 months. You can play around Maxi by making a shit end board. There are some decks that have like an off-ramp. If they get hit by Maxi, they can make a lesser board. But like, with... And see, that's what a lot of OCG players will be like, well, you just need to play one of the 5 decks that can do that. You know, Tearlament was renowned for, like, if you Maxi them, they go into Kit Kalos, and instead of continuing the combo, they search the trap, and then they can usually do something else, dump a few more cards in the graveyard, and hope they can search another trap. And instead of ending on, like, 3 monsters that negate you, they end on 2 spell traps that negate you. Snake Eyes is not doing anything under Maxi. Yeah. Snake Eyes isn't. What was it? I meant to say Snake Eyes can do stuff under Fuelos. We doing a goofy version to start with? I don't think so, because I feel like even though Blue Eyes is good, it's still not, it's not like in the top 5 decks. It's like maybe number 6. I guess we'll have to see how the ban list shakes out. Speaking of Kaiba cosplay, I should have a poll here while I'm eating. Let's see if I can do this. I can. Aha! So I have 2 options I found, chat. And apparently I can't post both of them. There we go. Oh yeah, I guess we're not starting soon, technically. We have begun starting. Okay, so we got two options here. And I can't seem to... There we go. So let's call them... Option A. Is this really as big as the line goes? Okay. And option B. And just to make sure I got... My spelling is terrible. Okay. First is more accurate, second looks cooler. Get a PNG of your head and put... I don't have enough time for that. I already spent too long getting this. No, not much difference in price. I could easily afford both it. Ooh. So if you can't tell, the first one is like an actual cosplay. It's like the jacket he wears with like the big huge collar. It comes with belts that you put around your arm and the little the collars. I think I might need to provide my own black shirt, but I could do that. Both seem best, but also hella uncomfortable. It depends how hot it is. One, I think, would probably be a little uncomfortable, but it also has the most option, like, because I could take the sleeves off. Like, I could not wear the black shirt underneath, or wear a thinner shirt, and, like, this one would be pretty easy. This one's a hoodie. This one is just a hoodie that's meant to look and kind of like Kaiba's shirt. Kaiba's costume, if you want to call it that. Yeah. So, like, on the one hand, much easier to get on and off. Probably much more comfortable as long as it doesn't get too hot. If it gets really hot in the next month, then wearing a hoodie is going to be very uncomfortable. How about B with a white top hat? Top hats by themselves are like almost $100. At least they were when I got this one. I can spend $50 on a costume, but I'm not gonna spend $150. Top hats, they're not very popular, and they have to be, like, they can't be made in a factory, I don't think. Would you ever consider wearing B out in public? Probably. I guess that's another benefit, is like B I might actually wear. I do feel like, what was it? B also, it kind of feels a little cheap. It kind of feels lower quality. A feels like there's actually some effort to put it on. And as someone once said, that's the key to success on the internet. People can tell when you put effort into something. And also, I think A could have the same kind of interesting thing that I do, where, kind of like I did with the guns, where I escalate every week, or every stream. So, like, with A, because it's not one piece, like, I could show up on the first stream and be like, yeah, sorry, I didn't get a prop or anything, I'm not, you know, I'm just not that into Blue Eyes, there's not much. And then I come into stream 2, and I have, like, the things on my arms, but I just don't mention them. And then, like, stream number 3, I add the belt buckles to my forearm. And then stream number 4, I put a black shirt on. And then it isn't until stream number 5 that I put on the coat. And I'm like, I'm beginning to really like these blue eyes. I'm getting really into them. The Kaiba-fication slowly happens as the month goes on. And then by stream 6, I'm like, I'm gonna try to do every battle like, ha! Pathetic duelist. You really think you can stand up to the power of my blue eyes? You really think... I have to look at his voice, but he's got a little bit of that. Screw the roach, I have money. By stream 6. Now I could activate Max C here. That would probably be a rude move. Soul-crushing even. But as the CEO of a major company, I crush souls every day. Stream 6 is when we pull out the anime wig. I remember I posted on Blue Sky, I was like, what should I do for the blue eyes thing? And a large portion of people were like, you should get contacts so that your eyes are blue. And I'm like, to be fair, I guess you haven't looked very closely. I already have blue eyes. I guess I could get contacts to make them brighter blue, but like, that seems a little bit silly. That seems like putting a bald cap on. And you're white, exactly. I am already the blue eyes white duelist. But alternatively, I could also, or not alternatively, but what was it? And then someone else was like, what if you styled your hair in the style of Kaiba to make it look like Kaiba? And I'm like, what hair? Do you not know who I am? I thought my baldness was legend by now. There's a reason I suggested a wig, yeah. I wonder how much would a Kaiba wig cost? $13? I'm not sure if I'd necessarily call this a Kaiba wig, but I mean, Kaiba's hair, as far as anime goes, not the most, not the most exciting thing. It's basically just a brown wig with one bang hanging in front of your face. Oh, did you start a poll without me even asking? Justin Bieber. But it is only $14. Pardon me. Oh. Sorry about that. Looks more like Light from Death Note. I mean, isn't that who Kaiba is? Hoodie plus wig is $45, yeah. So as much as I like that poll, as much as I appreciate someone putting the poll out there, I feel like we didn't get a whole bunch of people voting on it because maybe people didn't notice it since I didn't announce it. So let's do the official poll. That first one was just a test. So, which costume does Hardleg buy? Costume A or costume B? You got 5 minutes. And costume A is the more expensive, the more one that's an actual cosplay costume. Costume B, just a hoodie. Democracy, exactly. I think both are cool. Both could work. Would you ever do a bit standing up in full frame? The problem is I can't, because my green screen only goes to about, well, you can't see it because I'm already, yeah, I have it set up, but my green screen, I would have to like completely redo this, and I would need people over, and then the bottom would be, I'd have to basically get a new green screen. Because the one I have isn't long enough. Like if I stand up, there's like a white, you could see the ceiling. I could do it without the top hat, because I think it just barely comes to the top of my head. I think that was how I, like, when I put it up there originally, it was before I had the top hat. So I got it to be like, just like a ½ inch taller than me. How much would a new green screen cost? Probably not that much. Because it is essentially just green fabric. It's green fabric and then a bunch of command strips to like hang it up. I could maybe get some thicker fabric, something that doesn't have as many wrinkles. It's just a matter of, do I want to go through the effort of like buying it and then dragging my friend, because hanging it up is something I would need multiple people for. So I'd have to buy it, and then I'd have to convince my friends to come over here and help me hang it up and everything. And all of that would just be for like a bit where I could stand up. And I'm just not sure if it's worth it. Kybald. But let me look. Yeah, it looks like it wouldn't actually be that expensive. $15, $20. I'd have to measure this to make sure it's big enough. I probably need the 10 by 10. Okay, closer to like 25. But yeah, it wouldn't be that expensive. Oh, and this one comes with a stand. Maybe that would be better. Then I wouldn't have to tape it to the wall and I could move it around. See, this is one of those things where it's like, I don't even look it up because I'm like, oh, it's gotta be more expensive than that. Otherwise, more people would do it. And I completely forgot that, like, the whole reason the green screen was expensive was not because of the screen, not because of, okay. It wasn't because of the screen, but it was because I needed a really high quality camera to be able to capture it properly, and also I needed a whole bunch of lights. The lights are the more expensive part. Let me see if I can get the... You could see... You got yourself a fancy camera with a light on top of it. That light is pointing to the ceiling so that it diffuses down. And that's not the only one. You got that one, and then you got one over here, bright as fuck, and you got one over here, bright as fuck. People sometimes wonder why I get so hot while I'm streaming. It's like, because I got bright-ass lights. Okay, looks like same outcome as before. People think the hoodie just looks nicer. Just realized in your Blue Sky announcement you didn't post a link to your Twitch channel. I never do. I probably could on Blue Sky. Because from what at least from what I've heard, Blue Sky doesn't suppress, Blue Sky doesn't suppress posts that have links that take you off of the site. Twitter did. So, like, when you posted on Twitter, you couldn't be like, oh, here's the link to my Twitch or whatever, because they would suppress that. Also, I just realized the fishing hat. I really need a better hat rack. Or to just get rid of some of these hats. Okay. But yeah, Twitter will suppress and YouTube suppresses. Neither of those platforms want you to link people to get them off of Twitter or YouTube or whatever. They want you to stay. But I could usually what I do is I just make the same post on YouTube as I do on Blue Sky, just like copy and paste it. The illusion is broken. Yep, just one of those things also, again, getting in the habits of like posting a certain way and then I change platforms and it didn't even occur to me. Alright. Plus Blue Eyes. How many Blue Eyes cards are there? It's an interesting art. That's an awful art. Who decided they wanted like the crotch shot of Blue Eyes? They wanted to be underneath Blue Eyes' foot. This is just the same tablet art, just not in front of the tablet. It's weird how, like, Blue Eyes has so many arts, but, like, 3 of them are just the same art. I do like the Earth version more than the tablet version. I don't really like this, like, dome version. First time catching a stream. Welcome! This one's an interesting one. We're learning a deck, so it's a little more casual. But yeah, I'll be honest, a lot of people, they like the old school, the original Blue Eyes. I hate this art. I think this art looks dumb as hell. The Blue Eyes is almost doing like a troll face, where he's like, hi there, problem? It's very stiff looking. The head is like huge, the proportions are all weird. This art to me, like, I did not like Blue Eyes for the longest time just because I thought this art looked dumb. And then this one's, like, barely better, because it's got the, like, broken neck Blue Eyes. This is my favorite of, like, the first 3. Because this is the first one where it's actually proportioned and detailed. I like the Earth version better, because he's got the cool blue ball. But honestly, this one, probably my favorite art. I like him over the moon. I like him crawling on that thing. Makes him look more slender. It's very... I like that it's centered, too. All these other ones, like this one, like, you have to put something down here because he takes up, like, the side portion of it, right? I will say that's the only good thing about the original art is that it's at least centered. This is centered, this is tilted way far to the right. This is tilted to the right. This is the first one that's like centered again, but he doesn't look weird. He actually looks like a dragon. This one's pretty cool. This is the Kazuki one. It's nice to see him in space. More proportioned, more centered. He just looks a little weird. He looks like he's lost. Something about the way, like, I think if he was looking at the camera, or if he was roaring more, like, vertically, it would look like he was ferocious. But in this place, because his hands are kind of like this, and because he's looking, he's kind of like, how did I get out here? Where the hell am I? This one with Kaiba on it's okay. I was never really that big into Kaiba. This one's all wrinkly. That's just the dome one. This one is the weird foot fetish one. This one's alright. This one's got that cartoon vibes. I feel like this is what the first one was trying to do. It just got better proportions and more anime look. The manga version. Toon Blue Eyes is pretty good. You missed one, did I? Oh yeah, this one. Yeah, this one's second favorite. This one has the same, like, you know, it's centered, you get to see the whole dragon, it's like roaring ferociously, it's shiny as shit. That's for me, it goes this one, then roaring in front of the earth, then this manga one. Anyway, 3 Blue Eyes. Wow, I didn't realize there was so much support. Usually when I try to build a deck, I first try to make like a version of it myself. We read over all the cards. But there's so much Blue Eyes stuff. And plus it's in that weird position where like this deck is so old and has had so many supports that I kind of already know what a lot of the cards do. Like Bingo Machine Go, I'm pretty sure this is just a 3 of, right? Because it's just reveal 3 cards from your deck that mean one of the following criteria. Your opponent randomly picks one, you shuffle the rest. So if you pick a 3 of, you just get that card. It's just a searcher, but if you play 1 ofs or 2 ofs, you can't search those. I don't think it is anymore, huh? But it gets you either a Blue Eyes or a spell trap that mentions Blue Eyes. Except itself. I know you play True Light. I don't know if you play 3. I know you play 1 Jet Dragon. I know you probably play 1 Tyrant Dragon. I know you play 3 Sage. When this card is normal summoned, add a level 1 light tuner from your deck, except for Sage. Discard this card, target an effect monster, send it to the graveyard, special summon a Blue Eyes from the deck. So this gets you Blue Eyes, or it gets you your tuner. And the tuner you want to get is Maiden of White. Because you can discard her to get True Light from the deck. Place it from the hand, deck, or graveyard in your spell trap zone. And then if you special summon a Blue Eyes while this is in your graveyard, special summon this card. So it gets you True Light. When you summon a Blue Eyes, it comes back, so you instantly have a tuner for your synchro. And then when a card or effect is activated that targets this, or when this card is targeted for an attack, special summon a Blue Eyes or a light tuner from your graveyard. Maiden just does everything. Maiden does everything. Sage searches Maiden. Okay, I can see why Bingo Machine Go doesn't work, because it only searches spell traps that do Blue Eyes. Maybe you play 1, because I know True Light. So True Light is kind of like the Eternal Soul. It doesn't make your Blue Eyes unaffected by all things like Eternal Soul does. It just makes it so your opponent can't target Blue Eyes. But where True Light says if this leaves the field, or not True Light, Eternal Soul says if it leaves the field, all monsters on your field are destroyed. So it doesn't matter if you hit it with MST, Cosmic Cyclone, bounce it back to the hand somehow. If it leaves the field by any way, you're dead. But this one only works if it's sent from the spell trap zone to the graveyard. So it essentially has to be destroyed. If they banish it, your stuff remains. Which is good because this deck gets hurt hard by something like Macrocosmos. But at least if they get Macrocosmos, it also means you lose out on the downside of True Light. And then just like Eternal Soul, once per turn, you can either special summon a Blue Eyes from your hand or graveyard, or set one spell trap from your deck that mentions Blue Eyes with a different name from the card you control or in your graveyard. So I think that's why I've seen Bingo Machine go, because this searches it. It searches everything, but it only searches it once, because once it's in your graveyard, you can't search it again. Some people play Ultimate Fusion. These are Rush Duel cards. Dragon Master Magia. Special summon a Blue Eyes from your deck or banishment in defense position. See, I like this because it fits the art. They just turned this art into, like, a better card. Special summon a Blue Eyes, but if you do not control Blue Eyes White Dragon, you can only special summon Blue Eyes White Dragon. So this is an Eldritch spell trap, essentially. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck the rest of the turn except dragons. Banish this from your graveyard, fusion summon from your extra deck using monsters on your hand or field, including a Blue Eyes. You can only use one effect per turn and only once that turn. Yeah, I know I've seen people play this. I think it's also probably a one-of. Spirit with Eyes of Blue. You're not special summon except for dragon monsters. You can only use each of the following effects once per turn. If it's link summoned, take one Mausoleum of White, add it from your deck to your hand, or send it to the graveyard. Tribute this card, special summon a Blue Eyes from your hand or graveyard, but if you summoned an effect monster from the graveyard, it can't attack and its effects are negated. One or two at most. Yeah, so we get this, and that means we need Mausoleum of White. Does that mention Blue Eyes? Doesn't look like it. So we play at least one of these. This says, during the main phase, you can normal summon a level 1 light tuner in addition to your normal summon. Once per turn, target a face-up monster you control. Send a normal monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard, and if you do, the targeted monster gains attack and defense equal to its level times 100 until the end of this turn. You can banish this card from your graveyard, add Burst Stream of Destruction from your deck to your hand. Do we play Burst Stream of Destruction, chat? While we're here, I think you play 3 Valor because it's a light tuner. You could search it, you could normal summon it, you could do all sorts of stuff. If you control a Blue Eyes, destroy all monsters your opponent controls, but Blue Eyes cannot attack the turn you activate this card. Ah, awful, I see. Double summon and foolish. Yeah, so Spirit with Eyes of Blue summons a Blue Eyes from your hand or graveyard, and it gets you Mausoleum. Then Mausoleum lets you send a Blue Eyes from your deck to increase this level, then you tribute it to get this out of the graveyard. That's how you get your Blue Eyes. And then you can, if this is in the graveyard because you discarded it for True Light, summoning the Blue Eyes will bring this back. And then because of this, if you have another light tuner in your hand, you can normal summon it. And that is how you make Blue Eyes Ultimate Spirit Dragon. 2 or more tuners and a non-tuner Blue Eyes. Your opponent cannot banish cards from your graveyard. You can only use each of the following effects once per turn. When a card or effect is activated on the field, negate the activation, and this card gains 1,000 attack. So it's like Dragoon. Except you don't have to discard, but it's only on the field. It doesn't stop hand traps. If this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, special summon a light dragon from your graveyard except itself. So you've got that, and then Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon. Even if you don't get the second tuner, you can at least make this. Neither player can summon 2 monsters at the same time. Stops pendulums. Once per turn, when an effect is activated in the graveyard, you can negate it. You contribute this to special summon a light dragon synchro from your extra deck in defense position, but destroy it during the end phase. So we can dragon, light, synchro. We can get AFD. I don't think you would want to. You can get Azure Eyes. People used to get Black Rose Moonlight because it's a monster bounce when it's summoned. I don't know if that's still worth it. I do know you probably play at least 2 of these. But yeah, that's basically your options used to be, if your opponent got something that threatened this, you could tag it out for Moonlight and bounce that target. Alternatively, if they don't, then you bounce it for Silver Dragon. Silver Dragon says, until the end of the turn, neither player can target dragons you control with card effects, and they can't be destroyed by card effects. So the effect of this, where you destroy it during the end phase, doesn't work, because this says your dragons can't be destroyed. And then during your standby phase, you just target a Blue Eyes in the graveyard to get it back. You could technically get Michael. Michael is pay 1,000, target a card, banish it. Doesn't really work during the opponent's turn. Is this only during the opponent's turn? No, you can use it during either player's turn. Star Eater, yeah. Okay, this has to be synchro summoned. And this is, yeah, and most of these must be synchroed with the above materials, must be synchroed and cannot be summoned in other ways. Star Eater's just a big lad. Crimson Dragon. If this card is special summoned, add 1 card that mentions Crimson Dragon, so I guess that's Synchro Rumble. Target a level 7 or higher synchro on the field, except itself, return this, special summon, yeah. So you get this, and then I assume if you already have these, you can get other stuff. Oh, Malong. Another bounce. You could summon out this with that. This isn't out yet, apparently. This is special summoned. You could target spell traps up to the number of normal monsters in your graveyard +1, destroy them. If this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, target 1 spell trap in your graveyard, set it, but cannot be activated unless you control a normal monster. So this is not out in Master Duel yet, right? Because I imagine if it was, we would have seen it. It's not in Master Duel yet. Okay, I figured. Ancient Fairy Life Dragon. They retrained it. I did not know that. If this card is synchro summoned, draw 1 card. Or if the World of Spirits is on the field, add a light, beast, plant, or fairy, or 1 Eternal Sunshine from your deck to your hand instead. Your Ancient Fairy Dragon and monsters that mention it can attack while in defense position. and they apply their defense. It's a super heavy samurai! What the hell is... Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. All monsters gain 500 attack and defense for every ancient fairy dragon and card that mentions it. Once per chain, target a monster your opponent controls. Its current attack and defense become halved. Also, its effects are negated. You can only use this effect up to the number of ancient fairy dragons that you control. And monsters that mention it. Okay. So it looks like, if you get 1, 2, 3... You could have up to 5 negates if you had all 5 of these out. Spore, the fairy cell. Regulus, the fairy beast. This was before he became the king. Karibon, the fairy spirit. Okay, we're getting distracted. Can add 1 spell trap that mentions Crimson Dragon. Target any number of level 7 or 8 dragon synchros in your graveyard. Special summon them in defense, but their levels become 1 and their effects are negated. You cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except for synchros. When a synchro you control is destroyed by battle, you can banish this card, summon a Crimson Dragon from your extra deck. Okay, I don't see how that would be... Well, I guess if I got... No, they would have to be tuners. Synchro World. Each time a monster is synchro summoned, place 2 signal counters. If this card and its owner's control is destroyed by an opponent's card, special summon a Crimson Dragon from your extra deck. You can remove 4, 7, or 10 to apply the effect. Increase the level of a monster you control. Special summon a tuner from your graveyard. Special summon a synchro from your graveyard. Target 1 level 7 or 8 dragon synchro that is banished or in your graveyard, special summon it, but return it to the extra deck during the end phase. After that, set this card face down instead of sending it to the graveyard. If this set card is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, special summon 1 Crimson Dragon from your extra deck. And of course, the one that people actually want me to play. Target 1 tuner or a level 7 or 8 dragon synchro in your graveyard, special summon it for the rest of the turn. You cannot special summon except for synchros. If a 7 or 8 or Crimson Dragon would be destroyed by battle or card effects, banish this from the graveyard instead. So I guess that can help with Crimson Dragon. Do you think Dragoon could run in Blue Eyes, or do you think it would be better to just run the standard stuff? I don't know yet, because I don't know much about the deck. This one I could see might actually be useful since it's searchable. Because, like, then you can just grab back the Spirit Dragon and keep summoning out Moonlights and Azures. Like, the fact that it's returned to the graveyard, if this is special, or you could just bring back that. You could just keep bringing back Black LaRose Moonlight and popping cards over and over again. Spirit is a level 9. Ah, good point. Probably not, but I'll put it in there. Let's go ahead. I was like, man, there's so much room for stuff. Too bad we gotta play the Master Duel tax. And also, they announced the Dominus. These 2 Dominus cards are coming out. Ash, no feet. Always no feet. Yep, the tax has only gotten bigger. You missed the Blue Eyes trap. I didn't look through everything. If your opponent controls a card, you can activate this card from your hand. When a card or effect is activated that includes an effect that adds card from the deck to the hand, negate that effect. Then if you have a trap in your graveyard, destroy that card. If you activated this from your hand, you cannot activate the effects of dark, water, and fire monsters for the rest of the duel. Not my dark water. I guess it stops me from using Ash Blossom. But I mean, if we take out the Ash Blossom, we could replace it with this. And then Impulse is when your opponent activates a card, or if your opponent controls a card, you can activate this from your hand. When a card or effect is activated that includes an effect that special summons a monster, negate that effect, and if you have a trap in your graveyard, destroy it. If you activated this from your hand, you cannot activate light, earth, or wind. So we ain't playing that. Yeah, Purge is just Ash Blossom 2. Although it doesn't stop everything Ash Blossom stops, but it stops all the things that, like, you play Ash Blossom for. Purge doesn't work as a maxi Fu out because the hand activation condition. Oh, yeah. My opponent has to control a card. Alright, so there's probably no point to doing this then. It's something to consider. When you learning Branded, I learned it before, but that was a long time ago. I'll relearn it when the patrons want me to, but I don't think they want me to, because most people are sick of Branded. They've had enough of their shit. Okay, so if we're not playing Dominus, we can just, like, we could just do this. Be like, fuck you, Fiend Smith. When do you think Malice will hit? I don't know. I haven't the slightest idea. Sometime in the next 2 years, probably. Okay. Negate the effects of all monsters your opponent currently controls. I have to control the original Blue Eyes to make that work, though. But I could. Equipped with a fusion monster. There's some way to do that, right? Are you going to play Memento when the rest of the support comes out? If the patrons want to. It's... I don't mean to pick on you in particular, but it's weird to me how many people come and ask me, like, if I'm going to play X deck, when every ladder climb starts with, like, the same spiel, where I'm like, what was it? Climbing the Master to... Each month, my patrons assign me a different deck, and I do my best to push it up the Master Duel ladder. Like, that line is in the first few minutes of every ladder climb, and yet people are like, hey, what can I do to get you to play this deck? And I'm like, nothing. My decks are assigned to me by the patrons. How much have I missed? Not much. We've mostly just been reading over cards, looking at stuff. You think people skip right to the results screen? That's the only other place where I mention it. We need the patrons to join together to vote for aliens. I mean, good. It's weird also. I mean, this is like a bigger thing, but it's... Lately I've been noticing this weird disconnect between, like, the people who want to do stuff and the people who have learned... There's so many people, I feel like, who almost have this learned helplessness when it comes to affecting the world around them. They see me on here, and I'm like, yeah, if you join the Patreon, you could try to sway things in your favor. And people are like, oh, that would never work for me. I can't, like, join a community. I can't talk to people. I just have to patiently wait and hope it works out. And it's like, I don't know, the community's not that big. And then you get other people who join the community and they make like one post about why they like this deck, and then they're surprised when it doesn't work out. It's like, you gotta chat a little bit more. You gotta make some good arguments and stuff. But I think that's the other thing too, is that a lot of the people who have ideas about what deck they want to do, they can't defend it to others. They can't make like a good argument for it. You know, they'll be like, just to use your example, oh, I want to play aliens, and people will be like, why? What's the end board? What do they do interesting? And I mean, I don't know, maybe you have an answer. But in my experience, a lot of people, they're like, you should play gimmick puppets. And I'm like, don't they just do like the FTK? And they're like, yeah, but the FTK is really neat. Like, I suppose, but I feel like doing the same combo every time would get a little bit boring. And I mean, you've already seen the like, you clearly already know the combo. I'm not sure what difference it would make watching me do it. Wishes equips. And Majesty is the best trap. Oh yeah, we just happen to be on it. Show up to 3 blue eyes from your hand, field, or graveyard. Destroy that many cards your opponent controls. Banish this. Ritual summon a monster by tributing a blue eyes from your hand or field whose level's exactly equal. You could play Chaos, Max! Oh yeah, I forgot about Wishes. I was like, which one is that? We haven't read that one yet. Aliens can set up a one-sided skill drain if you get really lucky, yeah. Or I'm trying to remember who it was. I think they wanted me to play, like, the ABC... Or no, it was something that hadn't gotten support in a while. They're like, I really want you to play Abyss Actors. And I'm like, why? And they're like, I really like them. Like, but what is it that you like about them? Is it the play style? Is it the art? Is it something about the effects? And it, you know, it's not just them, because I've seen this, like, I've had this same, I feel like I've had the same conversation like a dozen times, where someone's like, I don't know, I just like them. And it's kind of weird where I'm like, do you not examine your choices in life? You got through the trouble of like coming all the way to me and asking me to do something, which is something that a lot of people don't even have like the strength of will to do, but you didn't at any point before that come up with a reason for why you wanted to do it. More like cringe actors. The deck chose me. I am only its faithful servant. I wish someone had a cool answer like that. Wishes for Eyes of Blue. Okay. Discard a card, add a light tuner and a spell trap that mentions blue eyes from your deck to your hand, except for this. You can banish this from your graveyard. Target a blue eyes white dragon you control. Equip 1 blue eyes from your extra deck. Gives it 400 attack. Okay. Now this card is really good. It's also an Ash Magnet. It was an Ash Magnet! But that's what allows you to make Tyrant Dragon. Tyrant Dragon can close out games. That means we have to play another fusion. Might as well put one of these in. Is the new eyes pretty good? Yes. I think I mentioned this earlier where I was like, Someone asked me if I was going to do a silly version of Blue Eyes. I don't think Blue Eyes is so good that, like, you can afford to play, like, a silly version of it. It's not in, like, the top 5 decks. But it is probably, like, the 6th best deck. Like, it's a tier 2 contender. It can absolutely hold its own in the Fiendsmith meta. It's slightly worse than those, but you could still get to Master 1 with something like this. But you have to try. You can't fuck around. Have you looked at Seahorse? No. We'll do that now. If you control a Blue Eyes, you can special summon this from your hand. Target one light tuner you control, increase or decrease its level by 1. If this card is sent from your field to the graveyard, target a Blue Eyes or a monster that mentions Blue Eyes. Oh, send a Blue Eyes or a monster that mentions it from your deck to your graveyard, except for a Kaiser. I don't see how this is very useful. I've heard it's useful in the Master Duel versions. Okay. Either way, I know this isn't a good version of the deck, but it helps to read over all the cards and figure out what they do before we really go into looking at deck profiles. That's what we're going to be doing next. If you haven't been to one of these streams, my strategy for learning a deck is to try to build it myself, try to read through the cards first, figure out how they work. In the case of Blue Eyes, I feel like most of it's pretty simple. I think it's a lot of it's tech cards, a lot of it's figuring out little synergies and seeing other stuff that other people have come up with. Like, I could experiment here for hours and, like, figure it out, but that's really boring to watch. And it's not as productive as just, like, looking at what other people have already come up with. So we're going to go on YouTube and we're going to look over a bunch of deck profiles from Master Duel, from a variety of people, see what interesting builds and stuff they have come up, and then try to come up with our own version based on whichever one of those we think is more interesting. I know there is a lot of different builds. You can play Blue Eyes Fiendsmith because they're all light. You can play Blue Eyes with Invoked. Get Alistair on there because, you know, they're all light, so it's easy to make Mechaba. But also he's a spellcaster, and our Link 1 can use either a dragon or a spellcaster. And I believe there's also a what's it called? Centurion build. But I remember hearing the Centurion build is just, like, worse than pure Centurion. You're just playing two engines together and they don't really help each other. Alistair is kind of mid, yeah. Oh yeah, and the Buster Blader version. And of course, there's always a chance we get the Primite stuff next month. Oh wait, no, I think they already announced the pack, right? It has, like, Goblin Bikers and Dominus Impulse and, like, Performapal stuff. But yeah, point is, we're gonna take like probably an hour and just watch a bunch of deck profiles. If you're watching this on YouTube, we're just gonna be skipping over that because I don't want to upload a video that's me watching other people's videos. I'm sure I could get away with that, but it feels just kind of rude. So if you want to see that kind of content, the React content, you come down and watch the show live. Otherwise, see you in a bit. All right. And we're back. If you're watching this on YouTube, we spent like 2.5 hours looking at deck lists. Strangely, we didn't find a single person playing the Invoked version. It seems like most people I talk to in the chat are like, yeah, the Invoked variant isn't really worth playing. But we did find out we want to play 2 Blue Eyes. We probably just want to play one of each of these Bystials. I'm playing the 3 Charmies, 3 Ash, 2 Maxi, 3 Valor. You can just play like a million hand traps in this, like a million billion. We don't want to be on Bingo Machine Go. We do want to be on this. And then, what was it? Both Joshua Smith and Team Samurai X were on like a package that played like 3 Bystial Lubellion and 1 Branded Regained. because the whole thing behind this deck is that it has recursion for days. It's what I need to come up with a new name for this deck, or this type of deck, because this used to be what I called stun. What we call stun now, I used to call a lockdown deck. Like a deck that completely prevents you from playing by like locking you out of special summons and shutting down, like skill drain or whatever. That's a lockdown deck. To me, stun was a deck that like, the whole idea was like, hit you for a turn and you're like stunned and then they kill you. It wasn't a deck that could put up a bunch of negates. It wasn't a deck that would completely prevent you from playing, but it would slow you down enough and then kill you on the following turn. Basically kill you on turn 3. That's what this deck feels like. Mid-range, yeah. Mid-range, I guess, usually implies like a longer game. But this really does feel like, with the ability to summon Blue Eyes back, you're not going to be playing like 4 or 5 turns. You're going to, if you survive to turn 3, summon like 2 Blue Eyes and then just attack for like 8,000. But this does have the ability to grind a little bit better. And adding the branded regain in there just does so much to help that. Just giving you an extra draw every turn, letting you recycle stuff if it does get banished by other people's hand traps, by their called buys, by their bestials. You can just put them back, draw another card, and you play so many hand traps, you can just go on with that. Are we going to add the Neo Kaiser Seahorse? Yeah, we probably should. I'm just not sure what we get rid of for that. Yeah, like maybe what we could do, what I found last time is that like having 5 maxi is like a little bit too much because then you brick on like not having enough stuff. So we could like drop this down, so we're essentially playing 4 copies of maxi. Effect Veiler's searchable. It is not once per turn, but if it gets hit by like called by, you don't want to have 3 of them, so maybe we just play like 2 of that. Did I only put 2 Kaiser Seahorse? Oh, yeah. So we put that in there, and then maybe just like 2 Imperm. So we have a variety of hand traps. You can just bestial your Veilers. True! And then we can just like 1 Nibiru, 1 Ghost Bell. One Ogre, 1 Droll. Just a 44 card and just play like every hand trap under the sun. One Piri-Res map? No. No. And then I'll have to... So this is really going to depend. Let me go ahead. We're going to open up Master Duel. Oh, and I'm realizing that hat is still in the shot. You could see this weird thing. There we go. Hat Gaming. The public deck search will be unavailable. Duelist Cup survey. What do you think of the event? It was a bit too short for me. Did you enjoy? Not really. Are you satisfied with the missions? Not really. Rewards? No. Nope. Please tell us your goals. Make it through stage 1. Tell us what you think. I like battling strong players. I play because I want to earn rewards. I enjoy the challenge. Ban Max C. You have the Molt Charmy. Is it Mole Charmy or Molt Charmy? Is there a T, chat? Mole Charmy, okay. There you go. And ban stun. Too late. Exo Sister Tactical Tri-Deck. Make triple X sabers. Okay. Delete. New. Let me see what I have so far. So we know we need one of these. If I wanted to play, we know we need at least one of these, probably 2. Two blue eyes. Okay, I do have a Dragon Master Magia. That's what I was looking for. I already own one, chat, and I feel like it would be a shame to play this deck and not ever summon it. So I think we're going to at least start with the Magia build, just to try it out. Plus, we get to play Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon. Already got one True Light. That's the wrong maiden. We need 3 of that. One Jet, 1 Tyrant, 3 Kaiser, 3 of you, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1. Okay. So let's go ahead, boop. Is there a way to copy? Does this copy? No. Type a deck name. Blue Eyes Magia. Okay, so for the Magia version, what we do is get rid of this, this, and we add in like Ultimate Fusion, we add in Chaos Max, we add in the Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, Yeah. Check out the blue eye structure. Oh, I know. So, 42 cards. Yeah, I think that seems fair. Maybe we could even get rid of the Bestials for now. At least the big ones. And then just go on to, like, a third Imperm. Kira. Don't know what you're talking about, buddy. Okay. So let's go back to this. We got the 2 blue eyes. We've got the jet. How am I doing on Bestials? 1. I got 2 of these. Okay. Oh, I just realized. Get rid of that. Changing things on the other deck. Okay. So I think if we're not playing the other ones, if we're not playing the Lubellion to start with, or this, we just do like 2 Druis Worm, 1 Magnamut. That seems like pretty fair. Then we've got the 3 of these. 3 of the Mole Charms. Ashby. Ashbla. Max. Effect Veiler. We got the 3 Maiden, we got the 3 Guy, we've got the Chaos Max, we've got this, we've got this, Called By, Cross Out, got the Fusion, Mausoleum, ooh, I got a shiny. And there we go. And then for the extra deck, I know we want like an SP. Moonlight Dragon. We want a second Spirit. We want a Crimson. Good thing I got 2 of those. Do I have a Blazar? I don't. Do I have a Cipher? I do. Maybe that's why people play this. What am I missing? Oh. I don't think most people aren't actually playing the Azure Eyes. I don't think we need it. Typhon, Gotta have the surrender button. Barones? Oh yeah, cause those two. Baroni. You need Ultimate Dragon? We already... Oh, I thought I already put it in. Red Nova? I don't think we play Red Nova, but there was a lot of people playing the... Hot Red. A Dark Dragon Synchro. I don't know how you get to that. Okay. Magia's not there yet? Sure it is. Crimson Dragon, target spirit. Ah, okay. I think we're fine. Okay. So what does the Blue Eyes structure get us? Gets us the Jet Dragon, gets us one copy of Sage. We don't need Blue Eyes, we don't need this. Okay, so really we're just paying 500 to get a free Jet Dragon. Are we going to start pure BE? I mean, we're playing Magia Blue Eyes. I guess that's pretty pure. We're starting with Magia Blue Eyes, and then I think the goal is to go on to Bestial Blue Eyes. That seems like, to me, that seems like the most control-oriented, the most fun way to play the deck. And then depending on how the meta shakes out, what new cards come out next month, we might pivot on to like a Fiendsmith Blue Eyes. Try that out. We might do some different hand traps. But I think it's mostly going to be pure. This seems like a deck... Chain Shifter, thank you for the 2 gifted subs. And if you didn't get one, you gotta type evaded in the chat. Buster's gotta be the most fun. See, we looked at Buster, and as soon as I explained what Buster did, everyone was like, that doesn't sound very fun at all. It sounds like if you go first, and you do the combo, then there's no interaction from your opponent, and you win the game. And if you go second, you've got like 4 bricks in your deck that make it harder to play through established boards. Funny if we just did old school Blue Eyes first. Just put out Maiden and pass. It's not that good. It's not that it's not good, because obviously if it goes first, it has a combo that just like wins you the game. Just like completely shuts things down. The problem is not that it's... Maybe good isn't the right word. It's not that it's not an effective deck. It's that it's not a fun deck to watch. You know, the combo is neat to see in a replay video once, but if I'm playing it for the whole month, it's not great. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. One second. I can't tell if that corner of my room is just dusty or if there's like mold growing on my floorboards. As a stun player, I think Buster sounds like a blast. It's linear and uninteractive, yeah. Okay. The corner of the room is haunted. You should play Spheres over SP or cut something. Okay. We've got a spear in your heart. What was it we had again? Typhon and Barone. The Duel Links Barone. Okay. Let's test this out, chat. Where's my... There it is. Small. This is not how the hand is supposed to look. Okay. Enable deck shuffling and start with a sand size of 5. There we go. Ooh, Balatro ass hand, chat. So we're gonna get this and this. We're going to normal summon. We're going to grab Effect Veiler. Add to hand. There was a way to get Blue Eyes on board before... Oh, yeah. True Light. Add Roar. Activate Roar. Gets the Blue Eyes. Why didn't that summon Maiden? Oh, I'm locked because of Spirit. I need to do that before Spirit. Okay. Yeah, while Spirit's on the graveyard, you can't do a thing. Summon this. Now Maiden comes back. What does this affect? Equip 1. Yeah. We equip this. We make a Spirit Dragon. We normal summon. We make another Spirit Dragon. But we didn't have the means. Is the only way to get Chaos Max into the graveyard with Kaiser, or was there some other trigger and I missed it? Wishes. No, it has to be a level 1. The Thick Dragon. I guess we could set... Okay, so what is this? During the main phase, fusion summon that mentions Blue Eyes or Blue Eyes Ultimate by shuffling the materials. This is still good, though. or the Roar Graveyard effect. A plant. So then this is what we do this. We get the ultimate Spirit Dragon. We negate. Then we activate this. We get Crimson. We activate Crimson. Target this. Get Cipher the Divine. And then this is a monster negate, which way they won't activate. What can I fusion summon? Oh, I can make Tyrant at any point. And then, yeah, before they end... we set this. And then that protects everything from being destroyed. We negate their Jar Greed. They activate a second one. We activate this. We reveal 2 Blue Eyes. Pop you and you. Switch to attack, and that's 8,000 right there. Someone mentioned this graveyard effect. Banish this from the graveyard, ritual summon 1. Okay, that doesn't help me get to Chaos Max in the graveyard. And then if they had anything, though, we could just bring this back. Just summon a Blue Eyes every turn. And then get Maiden every turn. And then we have no more things to summon. But why would we want to? Get rid of their plant. But we can hard make Black Rose Moonlight. Okay. Blue Eyes Fusion is also a pop. Yeah, so, okay. Try this. Discard that, of course. We don't have a way to dump, so we just get Majesty and Sage. Go Sage. Sage grabs Maiden. Maiden gets the field spell. This gets a Blue Eyes. And we do that before we make the guy, so we can bring her back. Then we can Spirit. Spirit gets the Mausoleum. Activate the Mausoleum. We target. How come this... Oh, stupid. I keep forgetting about the Spirit with Eyes of Blue. I get the Jet Dragon out. Sure, why not? Okay, we already used this, though. Yeah, so I guess we just set this. Love the Black Eyes Red Dragon joke in the last Masochist episode. I don't remember that one. Link -1. What website is this? Twitch. Unless someone's like broadcasting this somewhere. And then you tag them out for Spheres Pass. Okay, we finally open with the Kaiser Seahorse. If you control Blue Eyes, you could special summon this from your hand. So we start by activating this. We get Ultimate Fusion and Sage. Or maybe we shouldn't have gotten Sage. Okay. Get Maiden. Maiden effect. Add this. This gets us Roar. Roar gets us Blue Eyes. That brings back the Maiden. Now we can summon this. We use this first. Wishes with Eyes of Blue on this. And we want to put the Ultimate Dragon. Then we get both of them into the graveyard by making this. Then we make Spirit with the Neo Kaiser. Kaiser Chainlink 1. Neo Chainlink 2. So we get the Mausoleum to our hand. And we get the Chaos Max in the graveyard. Then we can tribute this. Get back out the Blue Eyes. We can make a second Spirit Dragon. And then we end by using Ultimate Fusion to make Dragon Master Magia using the Ultimate and the Chaos Max. And there you go. And I guess we have Mausoleum of White here too. I could have done other stuff maybe. You can get Sage or Maiden. It essentially does the same thing. Are you talking about to get the Magia on board? People use Master to summon Abyss to grab Chaos Max at the end of the turn. Just got a shiny Vaporeon. Congratulations. What about Nibiru, though? If he dies, he dies. Big. 58. Blue Eyes. And she came back. Jar of Greed? No. Get out of here. Spore doesn't stand a chance. Why can I special summon Typhon? Typhon bugged. You have 3 level 12s. Hard make Typhon. That's hilarious. What's the stuff for Zeus? He's level 12s too, right? Okay. So let's read Master with Eyes of Blue. When this card is normal summoned, target 1 level 1 light tuner in your graveyard, add it to your hand. Shuffle this card from your graveyard into the deck, then target 1 effect monster you control. Send it to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon 1 Blue Eyes from your graveyard other than the sent monster. How does this get the thick Blue Eyes? Also, where's it at? That ain't it. There it is. Blue Eyes Abyss Dragon. It isn't real if we don't look at it. If this card is special summoned, add 1 ritual spell or 1 polymerization from your deck to your hand. During the end phase, add a level 8 or higher dragon from your deck to your hand. You can banish this card from your graveyard. All level 8 or higher dragon monsters gain 1,000 attack. Yeah, so it adds Chaos Max in the end phase. But how do you get this onto the field? It has to be on the field during the end phase. Yeah, I think we do this, and then, what we could do, chat, are the other Blue Eyes any good? Your opponent cannot target or destroy this with card effects. Target 1 card your opponent controls, destroy it. Okay, it's probably not worth it. I need to play 3 Blue Eyes. Must be either fusion summoned or special summoned by sending the above monsters to the graveyard. Cannot be destroyed by battle. Can make 2 attacks during each battle phase. When this card attacks an opponent's monster and it's not destroyed, you can banish it. Huh. Then you can destroy cards? Damn, I didn't even realize that. Secret effect. So, if I manage to get stalled out, but I get 2 Blue Eyes into the graveyard, like, it's very rare I'll make Barone. Or I guess it's rare... No, I'd probably do 2 of those. Typhon. But, like, theoretically, shuffling the blue eyes back into my deck to get 2 pops might be worth it. That's just alternative. That requires 3, and I don't even play 3. That's a Duel Links card. Okay. So there's just not that many fusions. I always thought the Blue Eyes had more fusions than that. I guess they do, they just all suck. They need to be on the field to pop. Then you can destroy face-up cards your opponent controls up to the number of blue eyes used from the field as material. Okay. Never mind. Granted, I already have Tyrant Dragon, so if I have a blue eyes on the field... Okay. I think I'm good with this deck, chat. Master Duel. I don't think I changed anything, did I? Two blue eyes, a jet. Yeah. Okay. And then we can just remember... Well, we'll do that later. You know what it's time for, chat? Accessories! Although I think we need to... Well, no, we should already have... This should be like the easiest stuff known to man, right? Like, we play the blue eye... Wait, no, that's the snake. There's the blue eyes. We play the president's briefcase. There's no way to sort these, is there? Five-headed dragon. That's Stardust. There we go. It's those ones, right? Yeah. The prize card art. The legendary Dragon of White. It would be if it didn't have the, like, 2 years ago on it. These are just much more clean. Dual Field. The Blue Eyes Mausoleum. Get the Magia sleeves. Forest of Endless White. I don't think that's the one I want. There we go. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Blue eyes, and blue eyes. What else would we need? Let's see. Yeah, I could go in and get the actual blue eyes mate. Chaos Max came with the bundle. Dragon Capture Jar. Could get the Ultimate Fusion. Could get the Magia sleeves. I think I really like the classy ones where it's just got the like icon in the center. I'm a sucker for when you put a circle into a square. Chaos Max. Regular Blue Eyes mate looks better than the Chaos one. But do I want to spend my precious gems when I already have one? Get the time-limited stuff? Why? When would I ever need a Ghost Bell, like, icon? Like, what deck would that even fit? Stupid wallpaper. Bell kind of clutch if you have room. Yeah, I was thinking about it. Who even buys wallpapers? I do because, like, you know, it helps to start my episode and basically have, like, this in the background. Like, today, gentlemen, we're playing Blue Eyes. Pointing to the Blue Eyes. Oh, there was already one. Damn it. There was two of them. I didn't need one. Orb. They actually are going to ban Maxi? I hope so. Yeah, I think that head looks better with the Blue Eyes thing. But I paid for this one, so we're using it. Awakening. I've been holding mine for a full refund because I have a royal rare. You get the same amount regardless, right? If it's a royal rare. Yeah, and we're just going to use the Chaos Max one. Unless, I don't know, If we can get, if the people who really want the old school Blue Eyes mate, if they want to donate like 5 subs, I'll buy the Blue Eyes mate. And you may be like, that's a lot of money for a mate. Well, I'm gonna have, if I use that, I'm gonna have to buy more gems. Royal gets you 50. Oh, okay. Nice. Is that a challenge? I mean, if you want to think of it that way. They didn't replace Maxi, they printed sidekicks. Yeah, again, I mean, I don't want to be the broken record. We talked about it before, but it was like, you know, if they wanted to make, you know, they printed fixed versions of Maxi. If they just replaced Maxi with this, it would solve a lot of the problems that Maxi has. But instead, they added this alongside Maxi, which just means you have cards that draw you into Maxi. You know, it wouldn't be as bad playing under Fuelos if there wasn't a chance they would draw into worse Fuelos. Or better Fuelos, I guess. So instead of Blue Eyes White Dragon with the 5 gifted subs, and if you did not get one, you must type evaded into the chat. Critter, you want to thank Blue Eyes for the Blue Eyes? Oh, what a nice sentiment. He has such a way with words. All right, well, we're shopping. We're stopping. We're going. We're getting it done. Haha, I lied to you. I will not buy the thing. Applied to your profile. So we got Blue Eyes everything. Chaos Max? Nah, get that shit out of here. Now the deck is ready. Now we're pure Kaiba action. Yeah, we just delete this. Yeah, we didn't even use this one. Okay. So we copy this deck. And then this version takes out you, it takes out you. Put in 3 of you and 1 of you. Oh, and I guess we take out the Magia. And put in, I don't know. Spa. Oh yeah. And I guess we could put like an anima in here. Got a bunch of level 1s. Dissipator. Hey, Peter. Father. Celine plus access code if you have issues on the crackback. I don't feel like we would. I feel like this deck has no problem with clearing stuff. It's a good synchro for when we're locked. Good to know. Yep, so we got a version to start on and we got a version to end on. And then on the next stream, on Thursday, we'll actually crack open all the packs. Cracking packs makes me feel alive. I crack packs and people watch. If you think I rhyme, I won't. I'm letting destiny choose. So we'll open up a bunch of these. We'll hopefully get, fortunately, Spirit Dragons in this pack. So we can get Spirit Dragon. We need one of these. We need 3 Maiden. We need 3 Whispers. We need 2 of these. And, you know, if we happen to get like an Aerial Eater or a 7th Tachyon along the way, that'll be useful later. Or the Wandering Titan of Tartarus. Currently, I'm maidenless, yep. I'll be molding if you get a Royal Spirit. For now, you know, we can't open all the packs, but we can open Legacy packs. You want to open some Legacy packs, chat? Let's do 10 of them as a treat. Look at all those packs, chat. Who knows what they could have? They might even have something that isn't useless. I mean, not that. Cyclone Boomerang, that's about as useless as it can get. Fluffle Crane. They do so much animation for Cyber Shadow Gardener. Photon Slasher. He's got a big sword, chat. Although he's kneeling down like that, it's not a very good position. Fluffle Ladder Climb when? Maybe during Jankmas. Grey Wing. They sure are, Eddie. Powered Insectron. Technically an Insector card. Ooh, ah. Mind Wipe. I have some days I feel like that. Curtain of the Dark Ones. A curtain that a spellcaster made. It is said to raise a dark power. Yep. That's me right now. We'll go taking a leave or something. Lysark. A creature with sapphire eyes that mesmerizes and confuses enemies. I will say, Sapphire Eyes, great name for a band. Magical Plant. I don't think I could show that on Twitch. Oh, fuck. Get that out of there. Alright, shiny. We've got a yellow pack. Nature's Reflection. Look at it. See yourself in the void. Any effect that inflicts damage to your opponent would inflicts it to their life points. I feel like there's like 5 cards that do that. Barrel Dragon. You can target one monster your opponent controls, toss a coin 3 times, and if there's 2 heads, destroy it. The Humble Sentry. Reveal your hand, choose 1 card, shuffle it into the deck. Yo, check it out. Here's what I got. And you know what? I don't even need this one to deal with you. One of these days, you gotta put one in. Someone's gotta, like, play a list at a tournament and just include 1 copy of the Humble Sentry. -2. You know, just for fun. Just power move. Just to be like, I don't even need my full hand to defeat you. Oh, and Spirit, why is this in the Legacy packs? There's a lot worse cards than this in the main packs. Aquamador. Crimson Sunbird. There was a guy at my locals who would buy these for like $0.25. He'd always go around, I want all the Crimson Sunbirds. You got any Crimson Sunbirds? I collect them. I'll give you $0.25 for it. It's more than anyone will give you. Samsara Kaiser. This is the wrong Kaiser. When you tribute summon a monster by tributing this card, return it to your hand. Just like, ha. Sounds like they're fun at parties, maybe. Pernicious Puppeteer. Once per turn, discard one card, gain control of all face-up level 3 or lower monsters your opponent controls until the end phase. They can't activate their effects or be tributed or be used as synchro. Is it an eagle or is it a shark? He's so happy. Problem? Gotta put on your cool face, chat. Well, that was useless. Was it good for you, chat? Did you enjoy it? Did you have fun? Were the legacy packs everything you could hope for? Sure. Good. Good, I'm glad. I will say, well, we got like 5 more minutes left here in the stream. Always good to yap a little bit. There's an idea I've been thinking on for a little while now. And I wanted to, while we're here, just throw this idea out and see what you all think. So, I like the idea of sort of like Time Wizard formats, right? Like being able to have an alternate way to play Yu-Gi-Oh! That plays to its strengths. Because Yu-Gi-Oh! Really over the course of its lifetime has been 3 games. And MBT actually made an interesting video talking about this, where he's like, how come the only formats that are popular for Time Wizard are like Goat and Edison? People have tried to do a whole bunch of other stuff. They've tried to do like Tengu Plant. They've tried to do like Hat format. They've tried to do, what was it, like Toss format. Deck Devastation reboot? No, not like that. But he talked about the problem is that, like, you know, say a Reaper format. If you're unfamiliar with that. Reaper format is a year or two, I think, after Goat. It's fundamentally different from Goat because they banned all the stuff that makes Goat, like, broken. And they added in just enough special summons to make it, like, completely different. A lot of it's based around, like, how do you deal with Spirit Reaper is where it got its name. Because Scapegoat was at 1, so that was, like, the best wall you could put up. And there's a lot of, like, decision-making, like, do you tribute the Reaper to get out, like, a Monarch, which gets rid of your wall at the cost of, like, putting on more aggression, more damage. But it really nails that old school, like, resource-based Yu-Gi-Oh! Vibe, where each turn you're playing 1, maybe 2 cards, and it's more about tempo than anything. There's a lot of emphasis on, like, recruiters. There's a lot of emphasis on trap cards and playing around them and stuff like that. The problem is, if you like that kind of Yu-Gi-Oh!, Goat's just slightly better, and Reaper isn't different enough that, like, you know, people really want to what would be the word? To, like, gather around it, right? Like, people might put in the effort to make a Goat deck, but they wouldn't also make a Reaper deck. Because if they want to play that style of Yu-Gi-Oh!, they'll just play Reaper. Or they'll just play Goat. So GX, yeah, it's very DM GX era. There's, like, some fusions and stuff, but it's very limited. And then you go up to Edison format. Edison is like, you're now in synchro format. The game is a lot more powerful. You have these big, huge monsters that you can summon out. You have turns where you can special summon a lot. But you're still not at this point where, like, if you don't put up a defense, your opponent can OTK you. Most decks are still slow enough that something like a bot, like, passing your turn, or I guess here's the way to put it. Max C is legal in Edison format, but it doesn't see a whole lot of play, because if you Max C your opponent, most decks are fine passing, because most decks play several trap cards, and setting 2 of those is good enough to get you to the next turn. It's unlikely, even if your opponent has like a heavy storm, that they'll heavy storm and then OTK you. I like Edison, but I think early Ixie is still fine. Yeah. It's not legal in Edison? Okay. Maybe I'm thinking of Tengu format. Because that was what he was talking about. It's like, Tengu is, you know, it's another like early synchro format, but there are some like, or no, it's early Ixie era. There's still a whole bunch of synchros, there's a whole bunch of like extra deck monsters. It's based around that, but it's also kind of balanced around the fact that at most, you can get out 1 big extra deck monster per turn. You're not really spamming the field, you're not easily OTKing, trap cards are still very important. But it also kind of plays the same. Hat's kind of the same way. Like, yeah, that's firmly in the Ixie era, but the Ixie era really wasn't that too different from the Synchro era in a lot of ways. The format of, like, you know, you have Constellars, and what's Constellars going to do? It's going to put 2 monsters on the field and make a rank 5, or rank 4. And it's going to back it up with, like, a couple trap cards. It's this mid-range style where every deck special summons, but no deck special summons more than 5 times, except for a few dedicated ones that are like Cosmic Blazar Turbo, or whatever the old version, I forget its name. Constellars were annoying as fuck, yeah. And so you basically have that style of play until you get up to maybe Duelist Alliance. That might be different enough. But it's not long once they introduce pendulums that we start getting to like the modern era of Yu-Gi-Oh! Where it's if you don't combo off, if you don't put up several pieces of interaction, at least like 2, you're going to die. And so if you're going to play anything after the pendulum era, it's going to feel really similar to modern Yu-Gi-Oh! It may not be as fast or as complicated. Like, obviously, there's a huge difference between, like, Pepe format and tier limit format, or Spiral format and tier limit. But it's still, like, that build a board you cannot play kind of style unless you've got a bunch of hand traps. Like, there are hand traps in Edison, but sometimes you don't even play them. Sadly, no one wants to play Pend era. Yeah, so all of this is to say, there's 3 eras of Yu-Gi-Oh! And I think it's really fun to go back and play the older eras. The problem I've always had is that those formats, to me, feel super stale because there's never going to be any more cards added into them. You know, the GOAT pool is, I think, like 300 to 500 cards. A lot of those are normal monsters that you would never play under any circumstances. And there's just never going to be, it's an unchanging format. And because of that, it feels almost solved. Like, there's basically, I think, 10 decks that you can play in GOAT format. There's one that's clearly, like, the best. And then the other 9 are just different ways of playing around that deck. And some people really like that because it lets more skill expression. But for me, deck building is half the fun. And I really like deck building with new toys, with new interactions. I don't like the idea, like, deck building's not as fun when it's like, oh, every deck plays these 25, 30 cards, and then the 10 are up to you. So, here's my idea, would basically be what I would call time warp format. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the goat ban list. We're going to get rid of like the 4 or 5 cards that probably need to be banned. Or maybe we could even go with like Reaper, because Reaper already bans stuff like, what's it called? Delinquent Duo that's going to take 2 cards out of your hand. Reported for being awesome. And then we're going to do something like put Engraver of the Mark and be like, this is legal. You're playing GOAT format, but you have this card. This is one of my favorite cards. Never saw any play, not very good. It's a very weird hand trap, but it's an 1800, once per turn, quick effect, target a face-up card. During the end phase of the next turn, destroy it. By the time this was released in like the late ICSI format, it was far too slow to be of any use. Playing this in like Reaper format, I'm not sure if it's a staple, but it's damn good. Being able to essentially pop a card every turn, but it's delayed by a turn on an 1800 body, that's crazy. What would be, what's the other, I think it's, is it reverser? There's like a flip monster, and it looks kind of like a stag beetle. Fenrir, but for GOAT format. Reversible beetle. Flip. Shuffle this card and any monster in its column into the deck. If this card is normal or special summoned, change this card and any monsters in its column to face down defense position. Another card that, you know, in modern Yu-Gi-Oh, by the time this came out in like the Link era, useless. Not seeing play anywhere. In GOAT format, this is a game changer. You have Book of Moon on a card? Like, they already had a card like that, and it was a spirit, and it was broken. But that's because you got to summon it every turn. That's kind of, exactly. There's, basically, what I want out of an alt format is something that lets us use all this pack filler. All these cards we have that are really cool effects, really interesting from a design perspective, but which have never had a home, have never been playable because they came out too far in the game. So I want a format that says, okay, you're going to get that old school set a card once per turn kind of style, but you're going to have a card pool of like 3,000 cards that you may not be familiar with. Introduce the shittier Chaos cards no one's played before. Have you ever watched Bumble MC Fumbles? No, never heard of it. I think you just want normal... The thing about normal rare format, it still plays like modern Yu-Gi-Oh! It's just modern Yu-Gi-Oh! With a lot of other stuff missing. Pack filler format, yeah. Luna the Dark Spirit would have been busted in Teledad. Isn't that just every draft? Yeah. I was kind of trying to do this with my Cube series. But what I'm thinking about as far as a show on the channel would be, it'd be like a 3-part series. The first part would be announcing this project. You know, I want to try to remake a GOAT format level of play using modern cards. So look through your pack filler, look through your fan favorite, the funny cards that you found long ago, and give me cards that you think should be in this format. And I'll probably set up a bunch of rules, like the thing to understand about GOAT format, is, or that era of Yu-Gi-Oh! Very little summoning out of the extra deck. Very little special summoning at all. If a card special summons, it either needs to like wait a turn, it needs to be very, very specific, or it needs to have a really high cost. You shouldn't be able to get another monster on the field unless you're like building around it. Nothing over like 1800 attack unless it has a cost or a detriment to it. And very little removal or negation. Blackluster Soldier, Envoy of the End, yeah. And so that would be the first part, like explaining this idea and asking people for suggestions. Then I would sit down, probably on stream, or maybe have patrons go over it with me, and we would figure out, like, okay, what are the 1,000 cards we're going to add into this format? Spear Dragon? Well, Spear Dragon, I think, was already around in that. I forget if that... I know this is an older card. This might have been more Synchro era. 1900 does piercing, but it goes to defense. It's old, but this might be a decent example of something to add into like a GOAT format. It's like a GX era. I just remember my friend played it in his, he had like a Dark Samorg lockdown deck with anti-spell fragrance. But yeah, something similar to that. Will you keep the GOAT cards? Or only the best one? Yeah, I would keep all the GOAT cards. Snowman Eater. I guess another thing would be like, I want to see cards that haven't seen play. Snowman Eater did see a little bit of play when it was released, even though it's just Maneater Bug with a bigger booty. It had some uses. So like, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see like Aroma Jar, which is just like an upgraded version of Spirit Reaper, which is already difficult to get rid of, unless we're adding a bunch more stuff that deals with like face down cards. Don't keep the power spells, yeah. Well, that's what I was saying, is like Time Warp would probably be based off Reaper format. Reaper format is like the next big format after GOAT, where they banned a lot of the big power spells. Maybe a little further, because I think Reaper format has Last Will, and you don't want to play with Last Will. It's 4 a.m. Good morning, Anonymous Break. Time to play Time Wizard. Spear Dragon is in GOAT. Okay, so that would already be there. But like Samsara Kaiser. I don't know if that would be... That's interesting enough, but that's something we could put in there. But yeah, so, okay. So, video part 1. Explain the concept, ask for ideas. Then we probably have a stream where we decide on what cards get included. Video part 2, I come out and I say, here's the list that we came up with. This is the official Time Warp format ban list. Everything that's legal. Make your decks. Because we're going to have a tournament to see how balanced this is, how fun it is. And then I would try to do an MBT style thing where we go for like 6 hours and organize a tournament, and I commentate like the top 8 decks. How long do I have to stay awake to enjoy the whole stream? I'm pretty much done. I'm going to be finishing up here in like 5-10 minutes. I'm just yapping about this idea. The new flip cards might work with Pac-Man stuff. Possibly. All the attribute spirits, yeah, those are already legal in GOAT. Rock Spirit, Flame Spirit, those were all there. I think the light and dark ones weren't. We could probably add those in, because we won't be adding in, like, Ixies. Or if we do, like, we might add in Ixies, but they'll be, like... They'll be like this, right? We'll be like, you can have some extra deck monsters, but they're all going to be like 3 level 4s, 2400 attack, You can detach one material to send a card from your hand to the graveyard, and if you do, draw a card. Yeah, also, if you wanted to see the rest of the stream or see stuff you missed, all the streams get uploaded to my YouTube channel I have called Raw Hardleg. So you can go subscribe over there, and you can see this stuff like next week. So that's the idea, and I just wanted to ask chat, does that sound interesting to you? Is that something you would want to, like, build decks for? Or is this, like, a weird thing that only really appeals to someone like me? Because I know a lot of people, like, when they play GOAT format, or when they play Time Wizard formats, it's specifically for the nostalgia. They would be like, why would I want to play new cards in GOAT format? The whole point of GOAT format is that it's familiar, that it's nostalgic cards. Putting new cards in ruins the whole idea. Well, I'm like you, so... Yeah, so that would be... So I think, what was it? Part 2 is have the tournament, or tell people to make the decks. The third video is basically going over the tournament results. Maybe making some changes, adding some stuff to the ban list if things turn out too powerful. And then if that turns out really well, if there's a lot of interest in it, then the third step would be to, like, invite a bunch of Yu-Gi tubers to do a tournament. Instead of just having a bunch of people from my community. Like, you know, tell Simo and MBT and Farfa and all them. See if I can get a bunch of them to do, like, an 8-man tournament with it. Would the tournament be patrons only? Probably. Maybe. I have no idea. This is still way far out. The big reason I haven't held tournaments in the past is because, managing a tournament is a nightmare, and I am not good at, like, managing people. But I'm really hoping that once we get this would be after the Discord democracy stuff. If you somehow missed those, I'm turning my patrons-only Discord into a democratic republic. Where the patrons are going to vote amongst themselves for senators who will help run the server and organize stuff. And I'm hoping that once they get in control of that and we get everything settled with that, it'll leave me more time to work on something like this. It could be called GOAT Evolution format. That, maybe. GOAT Evolution. I'll put that as, like, an idea. GOAT Plus. Beyond GOAT. Although, I mean, I don't know. The branding, it's like one of those things where it's like, that's probably good branding. Although, I specifically didn't want to recreate exactly GOAT. I was thinking more about Spirit or Reaper format. But, like, Reaper Evolution probably wouldn't get as many people as GOAT Evolution. GOAT Simulator. Call it Goatly fans. Can we get a channel in the Discord for GOAT Evolution? GOAT Resurgence. Super Nimble Mega GOAT. Spirit Revival. GOAT 2. Alright, and with that, I think we're about ready to get going, chat.